This is actually my favorite figure this week. Not the 1x10 scale Nikkes or that Azur Owari earlier. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 6th to 11th of October 2025. For this week, finally we have a relatively chill week. Not too many new figures, both on the genuine and third-party side of things, because we already had way too much stuff in the 2 previous weeks. Mostly thanks to Mega Hobby Expo and Wonder Festival Shanghai. So usually figure brands, they want to ride on the hype of those events. They put new stuff on pre-order, lots of them. So this week we have way less, fortunately, which is often good news for your wallet. One less week to worry about too many figures to pre-order. I will also be covering 2 figures that I missed out last week because Amiami removed them from the front page for no reason. Now we shall check out Hobby Link Japan HLJ, which is this channel's official partner for genuine and licensed anime figures. And I have selected all of the scaled figures that I want to cover as usual. If you are planning to purchase or pre-order literally anything, not just anime figures, from HLJ or OSGK, please to make use of my links down in the description below, or sometimes a pop-up link right on the top right corner of this video that also works, and that is how you support this channel. Right, we shall begin with 1x4 scale, the largest scale as usual, but the biggest scale for this week is actually 1x3, but later on in the Amiami section because it is an exclusive. For 1x4 right here, we have one of the main highlights this week, I suppose. There are not many cool stuff this week. This is Azur Shinano Anniversary Swimsuit version. Freeing 1x4 scale B style, 32,000 yen, April release next year. So here's a very simple question for you guys. Will you get this one if you wanted a 1x4 scale Shinano? I don't think there are any yet. We don't have a bunny girl, right, of Shinano. I don't think so. Will you get this version by freeing, or will you wait for the one by Alpha Max 1x4 as well, coming soon? But Alpha Max is probably a month, 2 months away, if not longer than that, because that figure is not yet painted. At least that is what we saw in One Fest Shanghai just a week ago. So will you wait for that version, or will you get the freeing version? But who knows, you love Shinano so much that you want to own both, then by all means go ahead. Just that this figure, at least she is appropriately priced, 32k for 1x4 scale, mainly because it is such a simple figure, just black bikini, right? Low detail, low complexity. But at the same time, we all know that freeing 1x4 scale bunny girls often bargain bin. I keep bringing up New Jersey bunny version, 66k down to 33k, because that was exactly what happened for a few months, and her price is not going back up anytime soon. So going by that trend, where a lot of Azur 1x4 scale figures by freeing, specifically Azur characters, where they bargain bin, maybe it is not a good idea to pre-order this too early. You may be able to get her cheaper a few months after release. Unless you are very impatient, of course, you want to have her as soon as possible, then by all means pre-order it, because some people are more than willing to pay that premium price just to be one of the first in the world to own a specific figure. And I never really understood why. Why would you pay so much more money just to be, I don't know, number 69 place? The 69th person to own a figure? No, not even close. Maybe the 690th person to own this figure, because once the figure is released on day 1, the Japanese who have pre-ordered or purchased it would have it first. You are ranking 1000 something maybe. So I never understood the need to have the figure on day 1 or within a few days after release. You are not number 1 ranking for sure. For us content creators like me, YouTubers, yeah, having the figure as early as possible would be beneficial. We get to push content out sooner, and you may attract a bit more viewers. But outside of that, for the average collector, yeah, I never understood why you need to get it as fast as possible. Right, so this one, I would say approach it with caution. If you are looking to save money, don't pre-order it now. Moving on to the next one, 1x4 scale Higurashi When They Cry Go Season 5. Rena Ryugu Tragic Bunny version. Okay, they got her yandere face so good over here. 30,000 yen only at 1x4. Reasonable, I would say. February release, not too far off. Just a few months away. So I'm looking for a closer up picture of her face over here. Here we go. This is an excellent bunny girl figure by Free Ink that you can consider. I mean, this is not your typical bunny girl, I suppose. Depending on how you look at it. It is a typical black bunny, but at the same time, you get a cleaver that is blood-stained. Also on her right hand and also on her bunny suit, and then you get that yandere face to complement it. I think this is a great combination. So it is a bit hard to say whether to pre-order this early or not. Early because this is actually a relatively unique bunny girl figure compared to the others, which are not that violent. On the other hand, this is still seasonal anime, even though this is supposedly season 5. The first 4 seasons, those were like from the 2000s. Yeah, 15, 20 years ago. And then season 5 came out 10 years later, something like that. So despite running for 5 seasons on paper, that huge gap between the first 4 seasons and the latest one made me consider this to be a standalone seasonal anime rather than a long series that is forever popular over the past decade, right? Because of the huge time gap over there. So I'm not sure if the seasonal anime status will make her bargain bin a little bit more easily because people lose interest in their seasonal waifus after a while. At the same time, I can't promise that she will bin because classic anime character in a way. It is not 1990s classic, but mid-2000s classic. And for classic anime, you do have a loyal set of fans, right? Classic anime tend to have loyal fans who were probably students, college students or high school students 15 years ago. And by today, they are rich working adults. They are in senior manager position or way higher than that, and they can afford expensive figures. So these kind of things are mainly made for these people who can afford stuff like that today. Who knows what will happen? I don't know how to predict this figure over here. Yeah, but it is a good bunny girl figure, I admit that. Moving up next, we have a 1x4 scale Ranma from Ranma Half bunny version, 30k, releasing in February as well. Yeah, the figure is so simple, so plain that they could get the figure out in 4 or 5 months. A bit too plain for my liking, but recently we see an increase in number of figures from Ranma. I'm not sure what is going on. I know there is a remake. Was it a remake or sequel? I'm not too sure. That aired a while ago, but still, the popularity is quite a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. 30k is low if you want to collect this pair of figures over here. After all, it is only a pair, not a series of 10 or 20 characters. So not too expensive to own this set of 1x4 scale figures. Moving up next, okay, now we enter 1x6 scale territory. I believe we only have one figure, which is the one you're seeing on screen. And this one went on pre-order like 2 weeks ago on Amiami, so I won't repeat myself again. This Mizuhara Chizuru figure by Hakoiri Musume, they recycle the same diorama a bazillion times over with slight small changes, but at least they are charging you a very low price of 20,000 yen. You get everything in this picture for 20k at 1x6 scale, which is great value, right? This figure went on pre-order on Amiami 2 weeks ago, but now Hobby Link Japan offers it, which is why I'm bringing her up briefly. So, if you love that trashy anime, or you love Chizuru, you like her character design, then maybe consider picking one up if you missed out the previous releases from this brand. Moving up next, 1x7 scale, we have Azur Owari Anime Expo 2024 version. Oh, so this is Anime Expo version. When I saw her in One Fest back in summer, or was it Mega Hobby Expo 2 weeks ago? I thought this was a race queen version, and now that I get to see the figure in full, in color, she still looks like a race queen version to me. You can't change my mind on that. Just that this is a very simple figure selling for 25,000 yen, and I'm not sure if I can recommend it. August release next year. As you guys know, an Owari figure has been released earlier this month. I believe it is the Good Smile version. And then next month, the Apex Toys version will follow, right? So those are two excellent Owari figures that you should keep an eye on, and both are cheaper than 25k. I believe they are around 21 to 23,000 yen, roughly. I'm certain that those two, both, are cheaper than this one by Claynel. Of course, if you are a big fan of Owari, you want to collect them all, then by all means go ahead, because Claynel, as a figure brand, their quality is excellent, very consistent as well, but you will be paying quite a bit for it. Yeah, this is overpriced to me if I have to be honest. Moving up to the next 1x7 scale over here. Alright, we have this Daiblos Core Aimer Honey Assault 1x7 scale by Astrum Design, which we have just discussed in detail a week ago during Wonder Festival Shanghai. However, what we have right now, the new info is the price of only 17,000 yen and releasing in November next year. Long wait. I told you guys in my OneFest video, Astrum Design surprised me a bit with this figure. So far, they have made stuff that I'm not interested in collecting. More like I liked their character designs, but doesn't make me want them badly enough to purchase them as early as possible. Not to mention, a lot of their original character figures, they bargain bin like insane after release. I remember they have this Halloween girl original character. It was roughly 30,000 yen. And then, yeah, roughly 3 to 6 months after release, Amiami sale section, brand new 15k. I was like, ouch, to whoever who bought it early. And the same thing happened. Not by that much, not 50%, maybe 30% off. The same bargain bin happened to many of their original characters, but for characters that are based on existing franchises, games, anime, and so on, I'm not sure how to predict yet. This is based on a game, Daiblos Core, so maybe we won't see the same exact pattern with bargain binning. Still, a girl in swimsuit on the beach smashing a durian is something new. And for that reason alone, I'm giving this a serious look. I kind of want one. Yes. You are getting two faceplates, the other one without the blindfold on her right eye. But I would display her with the blindfold because that makes her different from other figures out there. So this is worth looking at such a low price. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we are looking at Primal Studio 1x7 scale Prisma Wing. Yeah. As usual, the most overpriced figure of the week, they often end up being a Prisma Wing scale figure. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, Mahiro Shina in Yukata, or is it Kimono? My bad, I can't differentiate them, right? Even though I'm supposedly an anime fan. I think it has to do with the length of the sleeve, right? 34,900 yen? No, not worth it. Please don't. November release next year as well. Mahiro Shina, there is a really nice scale figure of her. I believe it is by Phoenix. School uniform with an umbrella, transparent umbrella. That one is great, under 20k. Maybe even discounted by today because, you know, Phoenix stuff, they also bargain bin. So check out Amiami's sale section for Phoenix and Fuvio scale figures. This one, 35k, definitely not worth it. No matter what kind of secret special sauce that Prisma Wing applies on your figure. I know that they have this special coating, satin coating of some sort, which makes the figure really nice to the touch and it also protects the figure, but 35k for simple Japanese outfit girl like this is way too much. Can't recommend it if you are looking for the best value figures out there. Moving up next, okay, this pair of figures, we also discussed it in last week's OneFest Shanghai. Now available for pre-order at Persona 3 Protagonist at just over 16,000 yen at 1x7 scale, and also from Persona 5. So if you get a set, you're looking at 32,600 yen, not a bad price at all. This is very cheap even for 1x7. I suppose that they really have to price it this low, otherwise it would sell even less, right? I don't know what is the exact number. It is not like I know the sales numbers of each of these figures behind the scenes, but I could imagine male characters selling 10 times lesser than female characters in general, if not more than that. So low price will give you guys an incentive to consider it for those of you who love Persona. It is not like Persona has so many figures that you couldn't finish buying, like Azur, right? Persona has way lesser figures, and if you are an avid collector, you buy everything from Persona, then perhaps you can afford this pair of dudes over here because you have purchased everything available out there for Persona characters. Alright, moving up next, this is a surprise to me. In fact, I have already forgotten that this figure even existed. Kotobukiya's 1x8 scale Tokyo Ghoul Toka Kirishima Art FXJ 1x8 scale 15K releasing in June next year. Yes, I have forgotten this figure even existed. And why now? Why we release this figure now? Are we getting a new season soon? Instead of giving us a new season, we make the whole thing, please, because Tokyo Ghoul, even though I watched it many years ago, it was hot garbage. Episode 1 was wow, and then from episode 3 onwards or episode 4 onwards all the way to the end, I was like, what the heck am I watching? Yeah, I think they omitted so much stuff from the original content, be it manga or visual novel, I'm not sure, but there are so many missing stuff that things did not make much sense. Like there is this disconnect, right? It is like the events you see as an anime-only person, they don't make sense because something is missing and you couldn't connect what is going on in the first few episodes to what is happening in the next few episodes. Something like that. The same problem I had with To Aru Majutsu no Index. Specifically season 3, that was terrible. Yeah. So, we make the whole thing if they want to do the anime again. It is not like I follow anime news, so I don't know if a new season is coming or not. Maybe it is the case. So for those of you who want figures from Tokyo Ghoul, I suppose that you don't have many choices. This is the one to go for. Very cheap after all. Up next, we have a couple of 1x10 scale low budget figures from Hobby Sakura. Yep, Nikke. Alice Wonderland Bunny, 7,500 yen, which looked fabulous as I mentioned it in my OneFest coverage a week ago, and also Privati 1x10 scale Unkind made version, 7,500 yen, June release for both figures I believe. I was marveling at the level of paintwork Hobby Sakura did on these two figures. And I've just published, right, this review on Mieto's Gift Plus Alicia figure from Honkai Impacted. And one of the comments I saw was, 1x8 is too small. Yeah, that was what she said. And if 1x8 scale is too small to you, I guess we don't even need to discuss 1x10 scale, right? I brought up this topic 2 weeks ago, I think. Did Hobby Sakura make a strategical mistake with going for 1x10 scale? I think they did. You see, we have someone here complaining 1x8 is too small. What else 1x10? However, if you have limited space, it is worth looking into these two figures. I won't write them off completely. Yeah, but I do think they look amazing for 1x10 scale. Moving up next, we have low budget figure from Kadokawa, Mushoku Tensei 2, Sylphiette, 13,800 yen, March release. And if this is too cheap for you, which isn't, we have the Kadokawa special set version over here in Amiami exclusive for over 17k. And what you're getting over here is just a bonus B2 sized fabric poster, while the figure is 17 centimeters tall. Basically 1x10 scale, just like pop-up parades, just like that Hobby Sakura figure earlier. This is 1x10. So would you spend almost 14,000 for a 1x10, or would you pay half of that for Nikke figures? I think the answer is obvious. This is too much, too expensive for a 1x10 scale. But Kadokawa, you know, official license holder of many anime, they can price their stuff however they want. That is the problem. Can't recommend it. Yes, I just couldn't recommend this one. Moving up next, we have a trio of Tenitol tall figures from Furio, their low budget line, though this is not their cheapest figure. Tenitol tall, they are literally tall. They are almost 1x6 scale in size, just that they are non-scale on paper. So we have Kirino Kosaka swimsuit maid version from Oreimo, 9,500 yen, June release. In general, Tenitotal is a product line, a line of figures that I can recommend if you like them, because they are a good balance between price and size. Big figures at under 10,000 yen, as long as you like the character, obviously. And the problem over here is that you can't possibly buy just one, you will want the entire set. We have Kirino Kosaka over here, we have Kuroneko or Gokoruri, right? Best girl in Oreimo, 9,500 yen, June release as well. Best girl, man, I love her. Part of the problem is I love my lollies. And then we have this Yandere over here, Ayase Aragaki, same price, same release month, June 2025. It is a shame. This figure should have came with a Yandere face and a knife. A kitchen knife in her hand. If you watch the anime, you know what I'm referring to, right? The thing is that, once again, why now? Just like that Tokyo Ghoul figure earlier, why an Oreimo figure now in 2025? The anime at 15 years ago, 13, 15 years ago, it was insanely popular back then. It spawned so many skill figures in the past. But why now? Are we getting a new season? Or is it just an anniversary? Yeah, could be an anniversary. Can't be sure. Usually if it is the celebration of an anniversary, they will mention it. 10th, 20th anniversary version, none of that over here. And if we are getting a season 3, what is it about? Kosaka getting married to his own sister, is it? Or is it him breaking up with his Imoto and going back to Kuroneko over here? That is the kind of ending I want to see, really. I did not read the manga, so I don't know what happens in the end. I've seen the spoilers on social media, but I'm not sure if those are fan-made or real. Yeah, the brother and her sister in wedding outfit. That was what I saw in social media at least. Right, moving on to the last figure over here on Hobby Link Japan, we have Tennital Sakuramiku Cool Style Petite version, 2,700 yen, March release next year. Petite version, which means small. Maybe too small to your liking, but at least it is figure pricing, I suppose. We have the normal Tennital, which is slightly bigger than pop-up rate. I think they're roughly 1/9 or 1/8 scale. And then you have Tennital Tall at 1/6. This is probably closer to 1/10, which is the typical pop-up rate size. There are way too many Miku figures out there. You're spoiled for choice, right? So if you don't like it, fine. If you like it, pre-order it. Now moving on to Amiami for some exclusive items on pre-order this week. If you are enjoying this video so far, please do give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure contents every week. Yes, every week I publish a lot of stuff on this channel. So we are looking at a 1/3 scale CC from Code Geass. An eye-watering 66,000 yen, April release next year. And this has to be a collab with Mega House, I think. It is Sunrise Bandai after all, right? So Mega House may have a hand in this. My question is simple. Can you justify 66,000 yen plus shipping, plus taxes, if any, for a 1/3 scale Barney girl figure? It does not have to be CC. It can be any other anime or game character. 1/3 scale in Barney outfit. Plain, simple Barney outfit like this for 66. For me, the obvious answer is no. I think 66,000 yen is too much. I would rather spend 45 or 50k on those 1/4 scale Hobby Sakura Nikke figures. Mostly because those are way more complex figures. They are harder to manufacture in a way. So there's this perceived value for money. I'm spending this much, I'm getting something intricate, detailed, and very complex, difficult to make. Instead, I'm paying more for something a bit bigger but very simple. That is the way I say things because I am a detail person rather than a size person. And speaking of 1/3 scale, if you think it is just slightly bigger than 1/4, you are mistaken. The difference between 1/3 and 1/4 is big. It is massive, right? Assuming a 1x4 scale figure is standing normally, not in some dynamic extreme pose, they would be roughly 38 to 42 centimeters range. A 1x3 scale is at least 50 plus. Yes, depending on the height of the character, of course. 50 plus to 60 centimeters. So there is quite a significant difference over there. But in the end, I can't see myself justifying it. But at the same time, it is not like Code Geass fans have many things to buy anyway. We don't get that many CC figures compared to Azur figures. So if you want to splurge on your favorite waifu, you love Code Geass so much, I can understand that. So by all means, get it if you love CC so much from Code Geass. Moving on to the next one, we have Luna Maria Hawk from Gundam Seed Destiny. Interesting, specifically Gundam Seed Destiny, not Seed Freedom or okay, she did not appear in Seed. They chose Seed Destiny for this one. 38,500 yen, May 2026 release. I just don't see Luna Maria wearing something like this. It feels a little bit out of character, but I do love her a lot in the series. Yeah. One of my favorite female characters in the entire Gundam franchise even though she is not even close to the most skilled Gundam pilot, I still like her. I like her character. This one, I think it is a no-brainer for Seed fans like me, just that I can't afford it. I have other priorities. If money was no object, I would buy every 1x4 scale Gundam Seed figures. Yeah, Lacus Klein, what else? What's the name again? That Lacus Klein clone. Not a clone, more like she did cosmetic surgery so that she can look like her. What's her name again? Moving on to the next one here, I have no idea why this is a thing. Mobile Suit Gundam Ironblood Orphans 3. Mikazuki and Olga 1x1 skill set 10th anniversary. 16,500 yen. Will you buy a pair of rats for 16k? For me, no. Gundam related, so I covered them briefly. I have no idea. Like, I'm a bit confused by this thing over here, right? Moving up next, we have Amiami exclusive again. Pink Charm, 18 plus figure brand. Linyu Ryu-chan 1x6 scale, 28,800 yen, releasing in April next year. This is cast-offable, both top and bottom. You get Nyan Nyan down there. Yay! But why is she on the front page of Amiami? Maybe because she looks very safe with her clothes on. Maybe. Yes, this is fully cast-offable. You get a bit of black color straps underneath, but at least you get to see the important parts. So this is technically an 18 plus figure. Which is why this is so expensive, I suppose. Pink Charm figures have always been expensive, but you are paying for the quality and for the cast-off option. Yeah. I have no idea who this character is. I'm just going to assume that it is a very popular artwork by a very popular artist. Let me know if you know something about this character over here. I think she looks cute. And we need more edgy figures of characters with small opai, right? We keep getting giant melons. This is one of those few rarer, less common edgy figures with a flatter chest, with a small opai. So I welcome that. Moving on to the next one here. This is actually my favorite figure this week. Not the 1x10 scale Nikkes or that Azur Owari earlier. No, none in the Hobby Link Japan section. This is my favorite this week. And at the time of publishing this video, she is not yet available on Hobby Link Japan. This is not an exclusive. I hope that HLJ offers it next week maybe. So we are looking at Daiblos Core again. Zeus Chest Dream version by ElixirDream. This is one complex figure for under 24,000 yen. Oh, this is such a good figure. And the reason why I like this one so much is all down to her face. I am looking for a closer up picture of her face. Oh, you get her shoes separately. Nice. Yep, here you go. I think they did a fabulous job with her face. That embarrassed look with a very strong blush just underneath her eyes. Magnificent. I love it. And the heavy shading on the hair. Her hair is like lighter blue, but at the very edges, they get a very dark shade of blue color. Oh, I just love this kind of paintwork on anime figures. They have my attention. I'm not sure if I will pre-order this, but I really need to bookmark her in my MFC account at least, so that I don't forget, right? My favorite figure this week, no contest. ElixirDream, it is a Chinese brand. Yes, it is a Chinese brand, and according to Amiami, this is officially imported item with Chinese specifications, so there we go. But Chinese brands, I trust them a lot nowadays, so don't worry about quality control. I think she will turn out excellent. Right, moving on to the next one here, Womanshi Jendo Stigma version by Wings Incorporated, otherwise known as Soyokusha, right? And it is actually a Chinese brand, I think. More like we have a Japanese company, but they have a Chinese branch, just like Good Smile has Good Smile Arts Shanghai, something like that. This is the Chinese branch of another Japanese company. Is it Wing Incorporated? Just Wing, I think, no Incorporated. It is so confusing. And this is going for 23,650 yen, releasing in August 2026. And going by the track history of this company, Wings Incorporated, yep, no cast-off option. And I believe this is an artwork by Rurudo. Correct me if I'm wrong. It looks really familiar. I think this is Rurudo art. As for the figure itself, you guys know I love my lollies, but this one I'm not feeling it. I'm not sure why. Not as breathable, I suppose. Have you watched Sister Breeder episode 1 and 2? I think it is the colors. It is a bit bland, right? Like just white, silver. Yeah, I love vibrant colors that might be why. But Rurudo art, if this is actually Rurudo, it is going to sell well regardless of what I say. Moving on to the next one here, original character, I believe, Chang'e. Chang'e, or Chang'e in Chinese, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it is a mystical creature or girl, woman, that lives on the moon in Chinese folklore, right? So this is 1x7 scale by Anime 1. I've never heard of this brand, but I'm going to assume it is Chinese. 16,500 yen, releasing in March 2026. Let's have a closer look over here. For an original character, looks fantastic for sure. Wait, are we getting LED in the moon behind her? That would be nice to have. Okay. I just love this piece behind her head, man. It looks metallic. It looks like real metal. And there's this rustic look, classic retro rustic look that I really like. Man. This is not my kind of figure in general because it feels like a piece you'll see in a Chinese museum rather than on an anime figure collector's shelf, but it still looks great regardless. Moving on to the next one here, the next two figures are from last week's pre-order. I should have covered this figure and the next one in last week's figure pre-order, but Amiami, they removed this figure from the homepage for some reason. It was like this figure was still available on the front page of Amiami as of last Friday afternoon. And then merely a few hours later in late evening when I began filming figure news fix for last week, this figure disappeared from the front page of Amiami together with another figure, a bunny girl figure. And because of that, I forgot about these two figures. This is one of the few things that annoy me so much. But since this week's figure news is a bit short, like we don't have many new figures on pre-order, might as well give them a quick coverage. This is coming from Novel Stella, a very new figure brand. And someone mentioned in my video as well in the comment that Amiami initially put the brand name as Novel Star. Now it is Novel Stella, so I suppose that it was a mistake, they corrected it. Liquor Cup Succubus Pinky 1x6 scale. Very expensive, just under 28,000 yen, releasing in July next year. Once again, love the paintwork on the hair, the heavy shading, the heavy pink. Who doesn't love mentally unstable pink hair anime girls, right? By the way, my next figure haul video, which is coming later this month, the main theme of that video is pink girls, pink hair in general. Though not all of the figures are having pink hair, but most of them are. So I have a theme for every figure haul if I could make it happen. The next episode's theme is pink girls. So back to this figure over here. Personally, I feel like this figure will turn out fine. She will look just as good as these official pictures over here, because the feeling I'm getting from seeing these pictures alone, this looks like something made by a very experienced figure brand rather than a newbie making their first figure starting from zero. I made this a point as well when I was discussing about OneFest Shanghai new figures last week. This Novel Stella over here, they priced their first ever figure so high, almost 28k, and this is not a plain and simple figure to boot. It seems like they are confident. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are a branch of an existing, more experienced figure brand. Moving up next, another figure that I missed out last week thanks to Amiami. This is a re-release Bunny Girl Anna 1x4 scale different color edition by Figmon. Just under 9,000 yen, April release 2026. So technically it is not a re-release at the same time because they changed the color slightly, and I do like this color. The original version, I have reviewed it on this channel. She was mostly great, no quality control issues, but the pose is plain and simple, but at least it is cheap though, 1x4 scale for this low. And I think this newer recolored version is quite a bit nicer. I love that dark purple bunny suit. Reminds me of Rabina. Great color choice. Normally, right, when you look at Japanese brands like Skytube and a few other edgy brands out there, when they release multiple color versions of the same character, more than often, the oldest version, the default one, is the nicest, and multiple recolors later on, they just look so weird for some reason. Not the case over here. I think this is a great color for Bunny Anna. So if you want her, this is a second chance, go for it. It is not on Amiami's front page, you need to search for it, right? Moving up next, we have this figure over here in Amiami's age restricted section. Last week we saw her, a life-sized version of her, on display in OneFest Shanghai at Omaha's booth. And now you get to pre-order the 1x5 scale version, L illustrated by Saitom, a very expensive 36,000 yen, releasing in September next year. But you get to cast it off, you get to see the Nyan Nyan and also her melons on the chest, so why not, right? It is a big scale, and Omaha is actually a Chinese brand. Yes, a premium Chinese brand making edgy figures just like Party Look or Lovely. They're all premium edgy Chinese figure brands. So this one, she could turn out very nice for sure. And here is a cheaper version, the standard version for just under 30,000 yen. Needless to say, go all out for the DX version because you're getting more parts in the box. Yeah. Moving on to Ninin Game for Be Full Inside Forts Japan stuff. We have 4 figures this week. The first one is Aero Ghost Encyclopedia Yuki Onna Fuyuka 1x6 scale, 22k giant melons, and releasing in April 2026. The next one here, this is Purple Skinned Devil Girl. I'm not sure if I like this. Right, 1x6 scale, 22k, releasing in April as well. The next one, this is a re-release, and I am not surprised at all because furry stuff seem to sell really well. Tempting Classmate in Heat Komugi 1x6 scale, 22k, releasing in April, and this is the safe for work version, sort of, by Fort Japan. Same thing, 22k, releasing in April next year. And that is all for scale PVC figures on pre-order this week, the genuine licensed ones. Now we move on to OSGK for third-party resin figures on pre-order this week, which are not many, fortunately for me, I suppose. And this week is not very exciting. There are maybe a couple of very nice figures, but the first section over here, GB figures, and the very first figure over here, this is actually a licensed PVC figure, and I'm not sure if Japanese websites will offer it. This is H-Boy poster girl no shiners allowed, which is normally displayed together with that blue archive figure, right, holding the same sign. And in case you are unaware what is H-Boy, it is like the Chinese Hong Kong version. I'm not sure if they are based in Hong Kong or Shenzhen. I think Shenzhen, right? H-Boy is like myfigurecollection.net, but Chinese version. They have a huge community. They have people posting figure pictures over there. They have a figure database, and it is also a figure store at the same time, just like Amiami, one of the largest figure store in mainland China. And this is their mascot character, $20 only if you want one, releasing in June next year. I think this is great to display next to that other blue archive character, the pink hair one, I can't remember her name. There is also a figure of her holding the same sign. So you should get both if you are planning to get these GB figures. Meanwhile, for Anya's, this week we have two of them. The first one is by Mimo Studio. Anya in a very nice red dress. June release next year for $98. Season 3 has begun and I couldn't watch Season 3 yet because until today, I haven't watched the Code White movie. I believe it is a direct continuation, so I can't watch Season 3 without finishing the movie first. I kept delaying because I do not have the time. Alright, this is nice but not something I would get. If I want a third-party Anya figure, it has to be one of those funny crossovers or meme figures, right? Moving up next, we have Anya Sabo Spy Family. What is Sabo? I have no idea what that is. From Bio Studio, there are two versions over here, the yellow hair version and also the pink hair version, $131 each. Releasing in, okay, we don't have a release date yet. Let's have a closer look. Is this like a One Piece character or something? I have no clue at all. This is what I mean by buying a crossover version. This is the reason why you buy a third-party Anya figure. It is for stuff like this. Can be crossover with One Piece, with Pokemon, with anything you can think of. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Doro Knight, Goddess of Victory by AGC Studio. Only $12. Releasing this December. What is this, man? I think they just look at the memes that are trendy on social media and then they convert the whole thing into a figure. So that cat face over there as the shield, in case you guys are unaware, it is a very popular reaction and meme in chatting apps in China, mainly WeChat and Weibo, right? For example, in your country, maybe the most popular is WhatsApp or Apple iMessage or Snapchat or any other apps. But in China, WeChat and Weibo, people use these emoticons or GIF images very often as a reaction, as a meme, and this is one of the more popular ones, this cat face over here. So this is pretty much a meme figure in a way. For $12, why not, right? And memes, they don't have copyright, I suppose. I don't know. By right, they shouldn't. But Doro is still a copyrighted character regardless. Moving up next, as usual, every week we have a few of these super realistic plastic silicone rubber women for you to purchase in case you are not interested in dating a 3D gold digger. Just that this is a 1x3 scale you're looking at, and I just had to bring this one up because it is so scary how realistic this thing is. I almost mistook it as a real person until I saw the scale 1x3, and obviously this is a figure website, not a human trafficking website, so this has to be a figure, right, or a doll. This is also the most expensive 1x3 scale statue or doll I've ever seen, almost $3,600 for a good reason, and this is so insane how realistic this is. It really looks like a real person. Imagine what you're looking at over here, but 1x1 life-sized and in some AI-powered robot. Yeah, humans would go extinct for sure. This is a doll, remember that. And this has to be one of the most convincing ones I've seen so far. If we get a 1x3 scale at $3,600, I suppose that a life size to be 10 grand, maybe. Moving up next, this is not bad, just that not as realistic as the earlier one. I'll go through them quickly. So from Basilia, this brand makes stuff like this and put new ones on pre-order pretty much every week. We have this Cube Thief, okay, Kalia, 1x1 scale, $3,600 releasing in January. This is cute. I love her face. This is cute. But the one earlier is a lot more realistic. Moving up next, we have Kalia Ultra Makeup Silicone Doll, 2 grand, releasing in January as well. This one looks a lot more plastic, right? Doesn't look as realistic, like halfway there. And that is all for the realistic stuff this week. Now we move on to original characters section, original artwork. Atom Punk Studio Black Iris 1x4 scale, $590 releasing in no release date again. Well, no comments, man. I don't know what to say. It almost looks like this is castable. And I can't really zoom in the picture because she is almost Hadaka. But no, I'm not interested. She has very nice feet though. Moving up next, we have Jiu Xiangwan Studio Linglong Mechanical Hut 1x6 scale, $101. That's right, $101 at 1x6 scale, releasing in March 2026. There is a standard and deluxe version. You just close one eye and get the deluxe version. Don't worry about the differences. Get the more expensive one and you make sure you get everything in the box. The reason why this is so cheap is because this is a PVC figure. Licensed PVC figure. This is not resin. So this is going to be really nice. I mean, wow. Steampunk vibe, right? The mechanical part over there, I love it. And even the leather parts on her waist region. Oh, this is fantastic, man. I'm shocked that how this can only cost $101. How is it even possible? A Japanese brand would ask 30,000 yen for this thing, man. Damn. Whew. And her hair is also shiny AF. It almost looks like chrome metal or something. Interesting. Moving up next, we have Execution Studio Shun White Mold. Okay, this one you can only buy it in white mold. You need to paint the figure yourself. Disappointing. And not cheap, man. $219 for an unpainted figure. I suppose that it is not too surprising. Those official GKs from Japan, 1x7 scale, they cost roughly just as much. This is a pretty complex figure to boot. And she kind of look pretty nice even unpainted. Is this really unpainted though? It looks like she is already painted just in very light colors. Yeah, not my kind of thing, but very nice regardless. Moving up next, wow. Original character by Fish Head Studio, Punishment Girl Iposha, licensed, $251, releasing in June 2026. Of course, I couldn't show you guys much because this is too cultured for YouTube. In fact, I have no idea what I am looking at. How many legs and arms does she have? Like her other arm, the right arm on the other side, it looks weird. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Damn. Reminds me of the stuff TXS Studio used to come up with in the past. In fact, I suspect that Fish Head Studio might be a renamed TXS Studio. Who knows? This looks like the kind of stuff they used to do in the past. Moving up next, we have... Okay, now we are entering anime characters section. This is a dude. I mean, Obanai Iguro is a dude in Demon Slayer. But I'm sharing this figure with you guys because I think this figure is quite exceptional. $551 at 1x6 scale by DDS Studio, releasing in March 2026. This has to be based on a very specific event or scene from the manga, right? And we probably won't see it until movie 2, which we won't know if it will even air in 2026. Most likely 2027, I would say. So Look at all the details of this figure, man. This is incredible. I can kind of understand why this is over $500, assuming they get everything right over here. Snake breeding, or was it? Serpent breeding, yeah. $500, but wow. I'm not sure if I like his fingers over here. I think there is too much pink, but who knows, maybe she is under stress. You look at the skin color between her hand and her face, very different. Once again, I don't know about the lore of this character. I did not read the manga, so maybe there is something going on that I am unaware of. I don't want to judge it over here, right? There has to be a reason why they paint his hand like that. Moving up next, we have Android 18 from Dragon Ball by XD Studio. Available in 1x10 and 1x6. Of course, you buy the bigger one, which is $151, releasing in September next year. Wow, that has to be one of the largest foreheads I've seen in the past few months. I know that that is what the character used to look like, the oldest version of Dragon Ball from the 1990s. That was how they drew the character, but man, what a huge forehead. Nice base. I think it is a good addition to any Dragon Ball fans shelf though. But, moving up next, we have two Asuka figures. The first one is the nicer one, in my opinion at least. Miyawu Studio Asuka Neon Genesis Evangelion, $172, releasing in March 2026. I just love the red color over here they are doing on the figure. I think it looks very nice. The face, I'm not quite sure what she's holding. I think it is a spear with, yeah, this bird over here. I actually like this figure a lot. And it is probably the shading work on her outfit, and also I like Asuka with a slightly sharper face, and this is the kind of face I like. There has been so many different art styles of Asuka. This is the few that I actually like. Right, moving up to the next Asuka figure. This is quite nice as well, and this is a bit more anime accurate. The movie, right? The Eva movies. Baby Sister Studio, Evangelion Asuka. $191. Oh, I remember this one. It has LED in the base. Releasing in September 2026. This one looks pretty good as well. And, ooh, nice. There are very few bad Asuka figures out there. If you see Asuka in a plug suit, not some lame casual outfit or school uniform, you get Asuka and plug suit as a combination. I think most brands by third parties are doing very well. You just choose which one you like best, right? I do think that her lips are a little bit too red. It is like she is using a very bright red lipstick. Okay, now that I get a closer look over here, there are a few small things that I don't like personally, subjectively speaking. It feels like she is putting on too much makeup. You know, the white red, pinkish powder women put on their cheeks, and then a very bright red lipstick. This is what it feels like to me. I think her lips are a little bit too red, though the face is still accurate. It is still Asuka. And there we go, the LED base. I remember it because I post all these things on social media. That is why I remember it. This is nice. I think this could be a very nice night lamp, though I'm not sure if it is a good idea to turn on LEDs for long periods of time, because LEDs, they still produce heat, right? And resin, they can soften if there is enough heat. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Up next, this is a very early prototype, but they're taking pre-orders somehow. Starex Vast Studio licensed figure brand, 1x4 scale Miria. From Claymore, right? I think this is from Claymore. Yes, it is. $636. They already know the price. This was displayed in OneFest Shanghai, that's right. Releasing in December 2026. Could be a tentative date. Well, it is Starex Vast Studio. They are in the same ballpark as Prime 1 Studio, premium resin figure brand. Everything they release are licensed, so they are good. Yeah, that is all you need to know. They even uploaded one fast pictures over here, but that is reassuring, I suppose, the actual prototype. Moving on to the next one, we have Mio Studio Dark Tsukino Usagi Sailor Moon. $588. Okay, that is for the deluxe version. If you go for version A, the standard version, only $388. Version B, they don't have any pictures over here. None available yet. It is this Tsukino in a plain bikini, and you are given a school uniform outfit as well, presumably in fabric. So version A is all you need if this is something you like. Dark Tsukino. It is like in Digimon, they have the dark version, the evil version, the black version of the normal characters. This feels the same way to me. I don't know if this is actually a thing in Sailor Moon, but interesting regardless. And you can have her with or without sunglasses, right? Moving on to the next one, from SW Toys Studio, we have Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, 1x6 scale action figure, $227, releasing in March 2026. I like Ada Wong better if I had to choose. But when you have a Japanese or a Korean developer make games, the female characters they come up with, they are pretty much attractive most of the time. Unlike Western woke game developers, I really don't want to bring up this topic, about this woke thing and how Western characters are ugly, Japanese and Korean and Chinese characters are pretty, but I think eventually we can't avoid discussing this topic because of how closely related anime figures are to this gaming industry in general. Fabric outfit, which means you can undress it, right? It is an action figure after all, but oh, the wrist is not nice. Oh god, that looks terrible. It is a seamless silicone action figure. The shoulder looks okay. The elbow is a bit unnatural but still acceptable. But that wrist over there, it looks like a puppet to me. I'm not sure if I like it. Maybe it is a design limitation. I get it, but still, we need to dress her up in something with a long sleeve. I think it is because you can replace her hands, right, with different poses, open hand, closed hand, and so on. Then inevitably you get a line over here at the wrist region, and the only way to avoid it is to wear maybe a glove. Yeah, a glove or brass knuckles or something just to hide the joints at the wrist. I think that is the only option. Moving on to the next one, Prime 1 Studio, which means this will pre-order open in Hobby Link Japan in the coming weeks as well. We have Ramlethal Valentine from Guilty Gear Strive. We already saw this in OneFest Shanghai. Wow, over $1,200. That is for the bonus version, right? The deluxe version. Releasing in January 2027. Alright, that looks awesome. Not something I will buy, but that looks awesome. 64 centimeters. Woo. Well, guess what? I am about to buy my very first figure that is roughly 60 cm in size. Not releasing until December, I think. Eventually, I will own something this big. I already pre-ordered that figure, just waiting for release. I believe the length of that figure is 60 cm. I need to look for space for that figure because I am definitely not selling it after reviewing it. Well, it is a Prime 1 Studio figure. I wouldn't expect any less. This looks amazing. Woo. Moving on to the next one, Pokemon is back. More like the third-party brands are back, looting Pokemon characters with Delphox at $131. There are no full pictures of this figure, somehow just close-up pictures, but these shots over here, together with this next picture I'm putting on screen, you can roughly guess what the pose is like already. Obviously, this is for those of you who love your furries. 1/7 scale only, $131. Releasing in, okay, we don't have a release date again. The brand is Kernai Rodanwu Studio. Very similar to Spirit Demon Studio, they make this kind of cultured Pokemon figures and they are apparently selling very well. Moving up next, we have one single Nikke figure here, Dorothy from Mambo Studio, $187 at 1/6 scale and releasing in September 2026. And let me just say this straight up. This is hands down the worst Dorothy figure I've ever seen. Across all brands, regardless of genuine or third party, the face is a no-go. And if you really wanted this thing over here because of how cultured it is, then I would suggest buying the one with Ahegao face. Yeah. It does not even look like Dorothy at all. And I apologize for the low resolution blurry picture because that is the best picture I have. That is also what OzGK has. I couldn't find a higher res one. So even with this low resolution, we don't even need to inspect the close detail of the figure. Just that picture of her face alone, I already said nope. It does not look like Dorothy at all. It looks like some random original character that they slapped the name Dorothy on just to sell a few more copies. Yeah. Up next, we have Meowu Studio Dusk from Arc Knights, and this is perhaps the best third-party figure this week. Yes, $237 at 1/6 scale, releasing in March 2026. With this character Dusk, we have two obvious options from the genuine brands, Alter or Phoenix Furio, right? And regardless of which one you go for, their poses are kind of bland, just standing there holding a sword, you know, not a very dynamic pose. And this one looks quite a bit better because her pose is a bit more attractive. Sure, the face is a bit different from the one made by Furio or Alter, but this is beautiful. She looks great, so why not? Woo! You know the way her arms, right, transition from human skin color into the dragon skin color, green color. It looks almost translucent, almost transparent, her right hand over there. Yeah, the translucent green. The transition is so smooth and so attractive. I like this figure a lot. Oh, $237 for a resin figure like this is reasonable, I would say. Yes, one thing just crossed my mind. Her translucent arm over here looks like jade to me. Yeah, the stone jade. Fantastic, man. Whew. This is definitely the best third-party figure this week. No contest at all. No competitors. The next one here, we have Flawless Studio Arc Knights Texas 1/4 scale, $350 in this lingerie outfit, releasing this December. I'm not sure if I want something like this. Sure, this is very cheap for a 1/4 scale resin figure, and her face looks really good. So if this figure tickles your fancy, by all means go ahead and get one. This is pretty cheap for a 1/4 scale. Though I would say the low price is mostly down to how simple the figure is. If the face over here is indeed what we are getting, this is still a pretty good figure. Yeah, one of the better ones this week. And the last figure for this week, this is an early bird pre-order. We need more pictures before I can decide whether this is any good. T1 Studio Hoshimi Miyabi from Zenless Zone 0. No price, no release date yet. At least from this teaser picture over here, it looks very promising. The face looks pretty good. Just that now we have a competitor in the form of Apex Toys. The one they just announced in OneFest Shanghai. So not easy for T1 Studio over here. I'm not writing off this figure yet because I think the paintwork, the shading looks fabulous. And in fact, this is like the same exact pose, right? That Apex Toys revealed in OneFest. The same exact one. As for price guess, I would say $250, I'm guessing, at 1/6 scale. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you pre-order, if any? let me know down in the comments below. And until then, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.